What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? It is Hump Day, and it's Outlaw Radio. Do or die. Welcome to the show. It's your man, 50 Grand, Kevin Barnes, the militant with the microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. What it do, Milwaukee? 414 stand up live. From the Chocolate City Studios, man. On a Hump Day, man. Y'all get it cracking. Share the show. What's going on, man? To everybody out there in the city, it's a cold day. It's January in the Midwest. I don't know what you expect. But I'm here and we're going to do Outlaw Radio tonight. And I got my partner with me, Mr. Carter. What's going on with you, my brother?
Peace, man. Everything's going on. How are y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations, elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor, your holistic health and wellness coach, Mr. Kamar Carter. Peace to the family, y'all. I'm also the one who brings you Nature's Natural Herbs and Supplements. You can find that on Facebook, Nature's Natural Herbs and Supplements, or you go to my health page, Healthy Self, Heal Thyself, and ask about Nature's Natural Herbs and Supplements, or you go to my page, Kamar Carter, inbox me, and I'll tell you how to get your Nature's Natural Herbs and Supplements. Or you can just call me, 414-949-2122. Let's put a package together for you.
Everybody share the show, man. What we do is we big up positivity and we big up black entrepreneurship on Outlaw Radio. So if you're doing something positive or progressive for the community, please bang the line. The number is running across the bottom of the screen along with the Cash App. It's 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Shout out to Miss Courtney Francois, who she may chime in, she may not. Courtney is running and gunning as usual. I know she's a full-time mother aside from everything else she does. Shout out to everybody who supports the show, man. People hit me up. I got a lot of love. A lot of people didn't know that your boy was going through some craziness with my health, and people hit me up, man, and they was just like, glad you're better, and God bless you and stuff like that. I appreciate that, man. Love is love, man. I also got a lot of feedback about the community mayoral candidate forum that we're trying to do. I hit the sister up with some dates. We're looking to finalize those dates, and then we'll get it going, man. I think it'd be a beautiful thing. I want the community to come out because it's for us. It's for the people. I want the community to come out, and let's see what's going on with these individuals who are asking us for our votes, man. It's very important that you are an informed voter. A lot of my people in the community say that they don't really do politics, which I totally understand because it's very easy to be disillusioned by the process, and you don't see where your vote counts here in Milwaukee. But local politics and local races like the one we are about to really have are so important because we haven't had a new mayor in 17 years. So, damn near 20 years, man.
Hey, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Even if a mayor is doing well, you know what I mean? Just to be there for that long.
Yeah. And the fact that our city is in the state that it's in, and he was able to really defeat all challengers for so long and maintain that office says a lot. And I think it says that people really weren't voting, because I think if people were voting, he wouldn't have been able to hold that office. And because, like I said, man, the city has been in disarray for a very long time. There's a lot of urban decay. There's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of unemployment. There's a lot of dysfunction in terms of our leadership. So we're going to talk about some of that tonight. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything, man. If you want to be a part of the conversation, hit us up, 262-202-5131, Outlaw Radio. On Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, man. It's a million different ways to see the show, man. And I'm still working on my website. I had a setback with the website because my developer is going through some things, and he had to kind of bow out. And we changed directions on him because we had to up our production value. So we changed the way we do the show, and he was having some problems kind of following along with that. But thank God he had integrity. So we was able to, make sure it wasn't a thing where the money wasn't given back. If the money wasn't given back, I'd be on here pissing vinegar. But shout out to him, man, and God bless his family, man. I know he's going through some stuff, and we all are. Like, this is that time of the year, man, where a lot of people are going through a lot, man. A lot of sickness, a lot of death. People losing jobs, people, just up against the wall, man. So if you out there and you struggling with something, man, don't sit on it and let it fester and become depressed. Find somebody who you can speak to about it. Get it out, man. Get you a hobby. Get you an outlet for it, man. Don't just sit on it, man. Kamar, what's going on with you tonight, my brother? It's pretty cold. I see you repping with the Outlaw hoodie. I always love those hoodies, man. I got to get those back on deck. What's popping with you?
Oh, nothing much, man. Nothing much. Just doing my thing, man. I got an easy day today, so just kicking back, relaxing, and enjoying it, man. Enjoying the peace in it all.
Yeah, cause you another one, man. You running and gunning, man. Yeah, like we said, with Courtney being a mother, you're a full time father as well. And I know you got the meatless Monday things popping, and I know you got the juice and all of the nature's nature herbs and supplements,
Oh,
all
man.
that stuff. Right, right. He's not a businessman. He's a businessman,
I'm
right?
trying to tell you.
That spirit of entrepreneurship is real, man. It's real. It's what we do. Do for self. I can't stress that enough. The last time we were on, it was Martin Luther King Day. We were talking about the dream, and I was asking, has the dream been fulfilled and whatnot? And I talked about the side effect of integration that Martin Luther King crusade so hard for. But I do realize one of the biggest things that you can do in the shadow of that and what's supposed to be post-racial America is get your own, and shop with your own and support with your own. I always talk about the word community. Inside the word community is common unity. And, I don't know that we have that. And that's why we've lost the sense of what a community
Well,
is.
I think we do. We just have to figure out what it is.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because we do have a common unity. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? A lot of the same issues we all have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Police brutality, all that shit. You know what I mean? We all got the same issues, common unity. We got common reasons to be united. You dig what I'm
Right.
saying?
But I think when we look at what goes on in our community with the violence and stuff like that, I feel like if we felt that sense of common unity, we wouldn't have some of those problems. Um, but it's a work in progress, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. We
yeah,
growing, man. You know what I mean? We growing. I definitely feel a lot better the way things is going than I did last year. You know
oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying? I see the upward movement of the community. I see people coming together, you know what I'm saying? But I also know it's gonna take a while for it to get like we would like it to be. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We just need to focus on doing what's right today.
I agree with you, bro. I think people get a little upset because things don't happen or progress as fast as they would want. But you gotta, like I always say, I'm a glass half full type cat. Like I don't, the glass ain't half empty, it's half full. I'm working on trying to fill it up. So I think people need to be focused on something positive. Y'all be on the lookout for the Big Black Sports Show. It's coming. It's coming. Time is ticking. Next week we're gonna get off the ground with it, man. And I'm a demonstrate the connection between sports in our community and race relations and what sports has become for Black people in this country, man. I'm going to show and illustrate that. And we all like to talk about sports as brothers and sisters. We like to talk about sports and highlight. I know brothers arguing about who the LeBron or Jordan or all this kind of stuff. Those arguments are why we have sports. It's okay to have those discussions as long as everybody remains subjective. I mean, understands that it's subjective. You know what I mean? Like it's somebody else's opinion. You can't really get pissed. It's like the discussions we have about hip hop on here, because we have discussions about hip hop so frequently on the show, and who's top five and who's not, and who won this and who's. It's all objective, man. It's all subjective. I mean, it's all your opinion. So be on the lookout for the Big Black Sports Show, man. But yeah, we got tonight. I wanted to talk about do or die. And the reason why I call this show do or die, because I think sometimes we have what I like to call paralysis by analysis. I feel like we just sit and we just wait and say, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. Man, we'll fix it. You know what I mean? Like we get into those. It's just like what I just went through with my back, right? Like I knew something was wrong with my back for a while, right? Like I knew that something was wrong. I just kind of put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off until it was almost too late. And believe me, when I seen those X-rays, my eyeballs almost popped out my head. Like, damn. And had I waited any longer, the consequences could have been really, really tragic, man. Your boy might not be here. This might be Kamar by itself doing a memorial show for your man. You dig? So I mean, it was that close, man. It was that serious. That's why they said no. It was funny because I told the doctor, I said, well, you want to do surgery? I gotta call home and talk to my family and let them know what's going on. He said, yeah, that's a good idea. Call your family and tell them you're having surgery in the morning. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. No time to decide. So when I say do or die, I feel like now is the best time to get started. I hate New Year's resolutions. I hate because how you encounter a problem and say, well, I'm gonna wait till January to do it. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like if you got something going on, you need to address it immediately. As they say with the gypsiness. And it's like I said with our community. Like right now, we need to examine our community and try to find solutions. Solutions, not another discussion of the problems. We can talk about the problem. We all know the problems, right? Like it ain't hard if you live in Milwaukee to not or any black community. I'm tired. I know Milwaukee is a tough place to live, and I know it's acquired taste. I was born and raised here, so I'm a native North Sider. But I feel like anywhere you live in this country in a black community, there's the same problems, right? Like so, wherever there's poor black people, there's drug abuse, there's violence, there's gang banging, slanging. There's all the things that happen in our community. So like people point at Milwaukee, we're kind of the poster children for dysfunction. But I feel like there's no state with a safe haven for blacks. If there is, hit me up and let me know what it is, because I'll pack and we'll move out expeditiously. Is there a black nirvana in this country? Right? Is there somewhere where you can move where you won't be touched by the issues that your brothers and sisters are affected by? Let me know. 262-202-5131 Outlaw Radio, do or die. What you think, Kamar? And you like you're big on the health, and I heard you the other night at Meatless Monday running it down to a brother, giving him some knowledge about where we are spiritually and holistically. So when I say do or die, what does that mean to you?
It's just like what we just said, like you just said, like ain't no better time than right now.
Okay.
I mean, like you look at the state of our community, I feel like we at an all-time low. You know what I
Right.
mean? When you talk about that common unity, we at an all-time low. So it's like do or die. If we don't do right now, you know what I'm saying? Who knows where we're gonna be 5, 10 years from now?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we don't start making changes now, and we always talk about what can we do as a community to fix this shit. I always say it's an individual effort, right? It's an individual effort. We all have to work on ourselves and get ourselves right so we can have this common unity with our brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because see, it's a lot of ego problems. We got pride issues. Don't nobody want to be wrong. Everybody want to be the one to solve the problem. I want credit, and you know what I'm saying. We got to deal with these issues with ourselves, and that's what I talk. That's what I'm talking about when I say we have to deal with our issues. We have to work on ourselves. You know what I mean? It's that type of shit. It's the ego and the pride issues. How to be wrong. We got to learn how to be wrong. Most of us don't even know how to be wrong, don't even know how to just say, look, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Let me fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and it comes down to that. It's okay not to be okay, right? Like our pride and our ego make us think that we got to have control of every single last thing at all times, and it's impossible to do. So if you need help or you're struggling with something, it's okay for you to say that. It's okay for you to reach out for help and assistance. That's why you have a community, and we can beat that. We can beat that to death about that common unity. We can beat that to death, and you can interpret it how you would like to, but it's very, very, very important that you find some unity in the community. It's very important that we get together behind something. That's why we're trying to do this forum. And like people will mistake this thing, and I know because we're not going to include a lot of the so-called power players until everything is finalized, right? You won't get a chance to bring your ego to this. You won't make it a pissing contest. We're not having a sword fight, you dig? We're going to make this the way it is. And this is not a debate. And this is not partisan politics because we're not endorsing any candidate or any party. What we are going to do is give the community a chance to ask the candidates what's important and what their plans are for them. Because you're the voters. You're the most important part of this. You're the people who actually have to live in this city after they play all these games downtown with you. Or as they say, Liz Brown was on the show. She used to say, they playing in our face. They playing in our face, right? Like so, and this is why we need to have this forum. So we're in this is in process, man. This ain't pipe dreams right here. We
Hey,
are
and that's just the beginning of it. And
Right.
see, after that, once they get in office, we got to make sure that they do it. We got to hold them accountable for the shit that they said at this forum.
Yes, we do.
And
Yeah, thank you.
if we can't hold them accountable, if they ain't standing up, well, now we know we can get them out of there.
Hire
Next,
your ass, fire your ass with the quickness. You feel me? Like you're right, Kamar. Accountability. Like we put these individuals in office and then we just let them slide. You know what I mean? We don't come back. We don't come around and say, hey, man, what's the 6-week report card, 6 month, 90 days? You know, any job you get a 90-day review. So, and that's an extension of what we're gonna do. Chris Johnson and I, 90 days out, we're gonna be doing report cards on whoever wins, and this is gonna be the norm for any elected politician in Milwaukee. The
right,
truth,
everybody.
right? The truth is what we need. We need transparency. We need truth, and this
Let's
is
talk.
what we are going to do.
Let's talk about the shit they signing off on and everything.
You will be informed. That information will be there for the community. Now, whether you choose to look it up and figure it out is on you. But we're gonna put that down, man. We're gonna hold people accountable. I'm looking at the chat room. I see George Terry. Shout out to GT, man, up in the Twin Cities. One of your neighborhood people, one of my partners from way back. Go back like what's short to say, Fox Stains and Cadillacs. Go back like rocking chairs and pacifiers. But he said deep down he's angry. I think a lot of people, in particular black men, are angry. I'm over being angry now because I think anger kind of us being angry is kind of it festers and it contributes to a lot of our health conditions. When something makes me mad, I try to understand what it is. And I've talked about this on the show and realizing your triggers. Because if you're angry, you got to ask yourself, what am I mad about? Because a lot of times anger will manifest itself. It'll come out in other ways in your behavior. You be done slapped the hell out of somebody. You don't know what it's like. Damn, that wasn't really meant for him. But they say you can't love the one you want, you love the one you with. So, so you got to figure out, what am I mad about? That's why I say do or die tonight. What am I mad about? I used to wear that badge. I used to wear that anger. Like I used to be mad because we had to deal with unbelievable levels of violence, homicide, rape, murder, assault in our community. Kids ain't safe. Babies ain't safe. It used to piss me off. And to a degree, it still does. I'm right now. What I want to do is look for the solution, more or less. And a lot of our young black males are just so lost. Did you see this Shake Shack incident? This undercover detective being shot. 3 young teenage brothers, man. None of those brothers were even 20 years old. Trying to rob a DoorDash worker. Like, I mean, and the reality of it is this DoorDash workers out there trying to get their money. They out there trying to make it happen, as opposed to trying to rob somebody or something.
Bill, man. With that
right.
job, they trying to pay a bill. They ain't getting money. They just living, man. And here they come with this bullshit.
And this individual had her children with her. Like, I mean, what in our community is producing this callousness? You got young brothers. You're a teenager, man. You got your whole life ahead of you. And what you choose to do is go and rob a DoorDash worker to carjack her. And she has children in the car. Like, I understand. I get us saying, Kev, people tell me, Kev, these young people, man, is some severe issues. We got the lead poisoning. We have extreme poverty. We have all kinds of different things going on at the same time. But guess what? This is nothing new. We had a lot of shit against us coming up, Kamar. You know that. We had a lot of the odds were stacked against us. And we were coming up in the crack epidemic. And we did a lot of dumb shit. I would never take that away. But there was a line, right? And I'm not saying some brothers didn't commit some savage crimes then, but by and large, there was a line, man. Like, somebody in the crew would say, man, hold on, dog. She got babies with her, cuz. What you doing? You know what I mean? So, and I just feel like we got a generation of young people who lack leadership. They don't have leadership. Are they leading each other? Is anybody in these circles of young people stepping up saying, you know what, I gotta be a leader in my community. I need to start telling my peers, like, hey man, let's make better decisions. Even if we're on some hood shit, you feel me? Like, even if we hustling, somebody need to say, hey man, it's a way to do this. Because don't get me wrong, it's all leading to the same thing, right? The penitentiary or death. But there is some rules to it. There's some levels to the game. And I feel like youngsters need to be guided. Like, look, if that's what you're gonna do, and God forbid that that's the path you choose, but if you are, do not forget that you still a human. There's still some morality involved in this. Women and children should be off limits, out of bounds, right? Hate, angst, murder, death, killing makes the block hot. Nobody gets money, right? And to murder somebody over the minute amounts that you hustling for makes no sense. I just feel like there needs to be a hustler's handbook that needs to be implemented for these young brothers and sisters, and for them to understand that this is the ends to a means. There's no pension plan for dope dealers. You can't hustle so long and say I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna cash in my 401k on my crack sales.
The sad part is, man, if you write a book about it, they ain't gonna read it,
or they'll interpret it the wrong way, right?
Niggas don't read it.
Maybe niggas don't, but I feel like black people do. I'm hoping.
And then how about this part, man? You know what I'm saying? Like the OGs be telling them the game, they just don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk. I can tell you what's in the book, but you just don't want to listen to it.
You know, one thing I discovered about being in the streets is when you encounter older brothers, like when you a youngster, when you coming up and you meet these OGs and these big homies, 70% of their conversation is based on memory. What it was, how it used to be. Man, we used to, back in the days, man. It was, and it's never anything that's present. Like, this is why we're able to do this now, or this is why we have this foundation, it's always, man, I remember I had more money. All gone. It's all gone, right? So you'll hustle so you can live good for 3 or 4 years and then go lose 25, 30 years and then come home and struggle for the rest of your days. That math does not add up.
And then that guy never grew up, right?
Exactly.
See, when they talking about their history, they glorifying that shit. They glorifying it. When I used to have money, I used to do this, I used to do that. You glorifying it. No, right. Let's talk about the nightmares, nigga. You know what I mean? Talk about how that shit hurt you to lose all that money. And then you talk about how you don't know how to do nothing else but hustle to get that money again and go back to prison. Nigga, talk about the nightmares. Talk about the bullshit that come with it. The mama's getting tied up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it.
Yeah, I've actually encountered some brothers who spoke on that aspect too, to say, man, look here. When I left, my son was 6 months old. When I came home, he was 17. He was 19. He was 20. I miss my kids growing up. You know, I met some brothers who've gone through that and said, man, I ain't giving them folks no more of my time, bro. Like they can't get it. And like I say, the amount of money that you made ain't worth it. Like I made $1,000 a week. I was making $1,000 a day, but you didn't become a millionaire, because if you had, you'd be as fleeting as these American criminals, these blue collar criminals who come home with money still in the bank, who make millions of dollars on their criminal transactions. And I'm not saying that's worth it either, but I'm saying keep your eyes on perspective, right?
If you ain't Frank Lucas, you ain't coming home with no money. As a matter of fact, he didn't even come home with no money. You know what I'm saying?
Ultimately what he became is a tool of the man. He became a snitch. I mean, like you said, there was no real redeemable skills left once you come home, except for your ability to tell the stories of your glory days. And they long gone. I mean, Frank Lucas was coming home talking about shit that happened in 1970 and 71 before a lot of us was born. And it's like, okay, that's fascinating, but it don't really mean shit. I guess you got a movie out of it. A lot of documentaries made, but that money was not enough to sustain an existence. So, I mean, it's just conversation we're having, do or die, man. Like on what, and this is what we need to be telling our young brothers. Like, okay, you getting that money now. You living this life, you living this street life, you out here, but think about the future. Think about 10 years from now. I can tell every young hustler tomorrow's coming, right? And when you in the streets, you get to the point, man, because I done sat down before and looked around and said, how many dead homeboys I got? Damn, how many of my partners went to jail and did time? I ain't talking about he was in the house of corrections for 5 months. This brother was gone for some calendars. I've done that before. I've looked back and said, man, look at the damage that was done. One incident, one homie getting killed has a ripple effect where the mother, the father on both sides, the families on both sides were affected. Or here's the worst one. If you've ever had a homeboy who's deceased or was locked up and you run into his or her child, and you see that child, and it's like, man, I knew your pops, right? Like it's a very empty feeling, like, damn, because I don't have any words of consolation for you, and I'm not a millionaire, so I can't say, okay, well, little brother, I had love for your daddy, so here's a trust fund. You know what I mean? It's always like, man, your daddy was a good dude, whatever. It's a sad situation all the way around. So when we're talking about do or die, I think it's important for youngsters now to put it down, put down your bag, put down your pistol. And I'm not telling you to just go get a job, because I understand that they say some jobs say all I got is what Outcast say is every job I get is cruel and demeaning, right? I know that, but start thinking about a career. Start thinking about something that you can do long term. I never thought that social services and education would be where I was going, but I knew I didn't want to hustle for my whole life. I knew I didn't want to be stuffing a bag under my nuts my whole life. I knew I didn't want to get worried about getting pulled over for whatever I had in the car my whole life. I knew that one day I would want to have children, and I wouldn't want them to see daddy laid on the floor while the cops tear the house up, right? But I found something that has sustained me for over 20 years. Kamar, you found your passion. You found something to do that can sustain you and fulfill you spiritually. This is where we need to be going with offering our youngsters alternatives, because they'll say, well, what's out here? You ain't telling me what I need to do. You know what I'm telling you is I'm telling you to find yourself, brother. I'm telling you to figure out what you want to do, because I know this ain't what you want to do. It's cool when you got a new fit and you in the club with a bottle or whatever, and some little chick is choosing you because she lost too and she looking for a way out. You feel like, oh man, this is shit. It's temporary gratification, brother. We talking about longevity, man. We talking about building legacies. Blast Money, I see you, brother. He said roll call. He on the YouTube joint. He's on the YouTube joint. Come on, I hate to get on my soapbox with this, man, but I keep seeing youngsters falling for the okie doke, man. I just wish we could have conversations with them, and they look at a brother like you and myself and say, them niggas old. Them niggas don't know. Yeah, we're old. We lived to get old. We wasn't born old. That means we made it out, right? Like we made it out of the maze. And so there has to be some value to that. It just can't always be, oh, he old because he don't know the latest trend or he don't know the latest rapper. Yeah, of course I don't. I'm one of those brothers who I'm never regretting getting older. Like I wouldn't want to be a youngster right now. I'm happy that I came up in the era that I came up in, but I also would love to be able to give some youngsters some knowledge and hand them some jewels, hand them some alternatives. And this is what I've been doing for a long time professionally. So I feel like when I say do or die, that's what I'm talking about. Stop what you're doing immediately. They say stop, drop, and roll, brother. You got to find a way out right now. So it's Wednesday night, man. It's Outlaw Radio. It's do or die. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. I'm happy to be here. If y'all saying, damn, Kev is going in, y'all just don't know. This microphone is so good to me. Look, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I was laying on the surgical table with a bunch of people laying in front above me, talking about, okay, Mr. Barnes, we're gonna put you under, and I didn't even know if I was gonna see my babies or whatever again. So I said to myself when I was laying there, if I get up out of here, everything I'm doing, everything I do, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna go hard as hell, and I'm gonna make sure that I get the things done that I need to get done, and I'm gonna say the things that's put on my heart from the man upstairs. So that's why I'm going in on the microphone. I know y'all like, God damn, Kev, slow down. But it's Outlaw Radio, baby. It's what we do, man. What we got in the chat room? Paris LaShawn says, we need the youth. Well, you know what? In Milwaukee right now, and I don't know about other places, but there are more options available for young people than there ever were when I was young. We really because I'm telling you, we have a pandemic now, but the crack thing was a pandemic. That was the original pandemic for me, because crack shut everything down. During the crack era, all the youth shit, everything shut down because so much violence was occurring. You couldn't have a youth center. You couldn't have a community center. You couldn't go to the mall. They shut down the theaters. We fighting in the theaters, So now youth have a lot of opportunities. They're just not taking advantage of them. This is why I'm saying, you can go right now. Listen. You can go to MATC right now for free. And you can go down there and they have a million careers. Milwaukee Area Technical College. They have a million joints you can go down there. When I worked down there, I was surprised at how many vocations they actually offer. Like everything from HVAC to nursing, photography, CNC machining, drafting, architecture. You can go down there and you can get on the path to getting these careers for free. and you only have to go to school a couple hours a day. Go down there, kick back. There's plenty of women down there. You a youngster, you want to be where the females at? Go on down there. They'll give you money to go to school. You get a Pell Grant. You get all kinds of stuff. But our kids are not choosing that. They're choosing the alternative. So I feel like that's why I say it's important. Do or die, man. Do or die. George Terry said we need to be the role models. I never looked up to cats with flash. I was more curious about the OG that got respect on the block. Well, there's respect and there's fear. And so where was that respect? Where did that respect come from? Did he get respect because he was a righteous individual or because he bust that thing or he bust plenty of people's heads? You know, a lot of people mistake fear with respect and they're two totally different things. But I hear you. I mean, but I ain't gonna lie, as a youngster, sometimes that flash had my eyes wide open too. Back in the days, the Cadillac with the candy paint and the triple gold hunters with the grill with that lady stretched out on the front, and he hop out with the rings and things and the rollie, and I used to be like, wow, that brother's having it. I was too young to understand his life is he's living on borrowed time. I was too young to understand what he was probably going through. You know what I mean? To have those things. So kids are blank slates, man. They're blank canvases. They just waiting on somebody to paint a picture that they can follow. So yeah, they're watching, but that's why I said we gotta give them the right thing, man. And to get away from do or die for a moment, I do want to say rest in peace to one individual, a brother by the name of Duke Booty. And people don't, so who the hell is Duke Booty? Okay. Have you ever heard the song The Message, right? You heard the song The Message by Grandmaster Flash before, Kamar?
Mhm.
People give Melly Mel all the credit for that song. Melly Mel only had one verse. Duke Booty wasn't even a member of the group. He produced and wrote that song. He was the architect of the song, and the rest of the group didn't even want to be on it. They didn't even want to be on the song, so they didn't come to the studio. Melly Mel is the only one that came, and Duke Booty was the architect of that song. I don't know about the rest of his career, but he passed away last week. So, and he's never gotten his props. He moved on from it. He became a professor. He worked in higher education. But The Message is often looked at as the most important rap song ever. And Duke Booty was really the architect of it. His name is funny, I know. So you say Duke Booty, like what's going on? Hey man, it was the late 70s, early 80s. But that brother deserved credit, man. So rest in peace to Duke Booty, man. I just wanted to get that out the way. But shout out to everybody in the chat room. I see my brother Big Mike Kemet. Big Mike, you need to holler at me, man. We moving and grooving. We out here running and gunning with Outlaw Radio. We making moves. I got the Big Black Sports Show coming. I like to tap in with Big Mike every now and then so he can give me some of that knowledge. Kamar, you know how it is when you get Big Mike on the
No doubt.
you get Big Mike on the chat, man. He goes. You leave there informed. You might be a little tired, but you be informed, man. Big Mike gets it in. Shout out to Big Mike, man. So when we talk about do or die, he said, let's do it. Hey, yeah, man, you know it ain't nothing, man. Mike, you know how we do it, man. Just holler at me, man. Because I know before we were doing Outlaw Radio, Mike was real instrumental in what we was doing, supporting the show. And we got some moves that we want to make right now. Kamar's in a better position. I'm in a better position. The show is in a better position. Look at the presentation. Voila. As my man 40 say, oh boy, right? We stepped up our production values. So we got to extend this, man. So, Kamar, when I talk about the family, and it's something I wanted to talk to you about, do or die with our family structure, the black family structure, black men being fathers, the image of us with our children. And I feel like you don't have nothing to prove as a black man because you do what you do, right? The proof is in the pudding, as they say, But I feel like as black men, we got to put up a better effort of getting our family structure back together. So, I know what I do here with mines in my home, but I like to hear other black men talk about, what some strategies could be for getting our. And I try not to leave sisters out. That's why we always try to keep estrogen on the show. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to every sister we ever had on the show. But I just feel like as black men, we need to come up with some solutions to get our families back together, and it's do or die. Because if we don't, we're ruined. Our baby girls are going one way, and our young brothers is going the other way,
And
and
they crossing up.
exactly. So, I mean, so what do you think, man? What do you think about some solutions, man, that can be implemented? And this is a question that I'd like to
Well,
ask these potential candidates. What's your plan for the black family?
I think first off, you know what I mean, we need to focus on building legacies. What are we
Okay.
gonna leave here? You know what I'm saying? What are we gonna leave here for our kids? Too many of our kids grow up, they get out of high school, they don't know what the hell they want to do. You know what I
Right.
mean? We need to start off. We need to have some options for these kids to start off with. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Whether they want to go into the family business or their own business or go to school. You know what I
Right.
mean? But they need to have options. You know what I'm saying? They may want to go pick up a skill and start their own business, but options need to be there. And we need to start talking to our kids, finding out what they passionate in, where they passionate is at. You know what I mean? So we know how to feed them. So we know which direction to push them in.
And we as parents, we get so caught up in trying to get them to do what we want them to do. Little man play AAU basketball. He going to the NBA. He gonna get us out of here. He gonna go to the NFL. No, no. And this is why I'm doing the Big Black Sports Show, because I want to show that really sports is an opportunity for you to elevate a little bit, but it's not the end all be all. When they say you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. And sometimes we push our kids, well, he gonna be a rapper, he gonna be a singer. We want them to be famous. You rarely hear somebody saying, little dog gonna be a plumber. Or he like to work with his hands. I'm trying to get him to look into carpentry. There's plenty ways to make money, and it's not always involving celebrity. Your son might want to be a mechanic, right? Not the alley mechanic with the Newport hanging from his lip. I'm talking about the certified mechanic that gets $30, $40 an hour to work on planes or semis, or $50 an hour to work on Lamborghinis or Benzes, all these cars that we waste our money on when we get our taxes that we can't get fixed afterwards. But kids, you need to encourage kids to think broadly, man, instead of trying to tell them, man, you see how Jordan shoot, that's who you want to be. If my son wants to play ball, I encourage that, but I don't tell him that's the only way out. You got way more going for yourself than just playing sports. So, like I said, do or die, man. The family, our family, man. We got to get this family thing back together as black men. And I think part of that as black men is saying, we fucked up. It ain't nothing wrong with that. As black men, we've been left of the line a lot. And I think a lot of sisters, they don't believe black men have that kind of range where we can say, you know what, baby, at one point I was lost. I made some bad decisions. I may have mistreated women at one point in my life. I wasn't emotionally mature. I wasn't ready to deal with a real woman. But you got to prepare. You have to prepare yourself and build yourself up. It's like anything else. Like, you don't just jump in the game, right? You got to be ready to deal with a woman. Now, any kind of what we call them schizoids or chicken heads, if you just want to if that's what you want, fly by night, hit and quit, that's easy. That's low maintenance. But if you are in a situation where you want to deal with a woman, a strong black woman, you got to be prepared to do that. And it's vice versa. Sisters got to be prepared too. We got to get ourselves ready for each other. And then once we get together, we need to admit to each other that, hey, I'm still learning. I'm still trying. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes here, baby. I wish I could be perfect, but I'm not. This ain't television. This ain't the Huxtables. This ain't the Cosby Show. Shit happens. It's more like Good Times, right? Damn. Hit us up, man. 262-202 Outlaw Radio. Share the show, man. That's all we ask. You ain't got to hit the Cash App unless you want to. But share the show. We just ask that you share the show. Let people know it's going down. Let people know it's a voice for the city. And we want y'all to start spreading the word about our mayoral forum. We're going to get these candidates. We're going to put them on the hot seat. And I say hot seat. I don't want to scare them off. But we want to know what y'all plans is for our city. What you going to do for black folks? What's in it for us, right? What's the plan for the community? Because what we don't want is another 20 years like we just endured under Barrett. Look, I'm getting old. I got more time behind me than I do in front. I don't know if I got 20 more years to be fucking off. I need the next 20 years of my life to be about real, solid progress and getting things done. So I'm going to need everybody who says they want to be a leader or they want me to vote for them to do what they need to do. So we're going to put these candidates on the stage in the community, and it's going to be done with respect. This ain't no setup. This ain't no ambush. This ain't for us to get them out there and go to yelling at them because they didn't create the problems, right? And they're not going to be able to solve them by themselves, but they have to think forward thinking and think outside the box and represent a new day for leadership in Milwaukee. And I want to let any candidate know, if you're planning on not coming, what you telling the community is to kiss your ass. So when you get that invite, take it serious.
And we're going to put you on blast.
Extremely. Yes, we're going to put you on the fire.
We might make some postcards with the names of y'all that don't want to participate in this community event. You know what I'm saying? And pass these cards around.
don't underestimate our reach, because we can get some images, that we can get some information out here to the people, and you don't want to get on the bad side of the people. It ain't about me, because by myself I can't do shit. But if I got my community behind me, you better watch out, right? Five fingers make a slap when they open, but they make a fist when they close. Which one would you get hit by? A slap or a fist? I'm gonna let you decide. So don't blow us off. Don't think I was a little podcaster and little blogger, Kingfish MKE and Outlaw Radio together, and with some other groups and some other individuals that we're gonna get involved with this thing. It's gonna be a power move for the people. That's why I'm saying Big Mike, we gonna hook up, because Big Mike is a mover and a shaker. He can make things happen, man. So that's why I know. That's why I'm gonna get Big Mike, because Mike will bring the people with him. And there's some other people who I got that and I ain't gonna tell y'all who. This gonna be a real thing, man. I see you, Ewok the Great, out there in Arizona, man. I see you out there. He said, "What's happening, brothers? What's going on with you, my man?" So yeah, man, we gotta. And now when I talk about our family, one of the things is we found out that this Burger King murder, this young 16-year-old sister who was shot in an attempted robbery in Burger King. We found out that there was a father of another young lady who had conspired with his daughter to rob the place, and so I seen people make a bunch of different comments, and I want to get how y'all feel about this. I don't think it diminishes that 16-year-old's life. I don't think it's time to say, well, she deserved it because she was 16, 17, however old she was. And all you do when you're young is make mistakes. So when you get shot down when you're young, right, it's the reason why the Bible says the babies go to heaven, the children go to heaven, because they're innocent, right? And so she obviously got involved in something she didn't understand the ramifications of. I don't want to see people who keep speaking down on her, because I'm pretty sure she didn't think death would be the result of this. She probably was thinking it's gonna give me a chance to get ahead a little bit, because this flipping these burger shit is just, I don't know if Burger King has stepped it up and raised their wages like other places. But what you think about this, Kamar? The fact that a father, this is what I'm saying about rebuilding our family structure. The fact that a father would like use this influence with his daughter like this. This is crazy.
Well, I think that's a case of the parent being more of a friend. You know what I'm saying? And see, he got issues too, and as far as how everybody talking about that girl, man, listen, like you said, kids make mistakes. Don't nobody deserve to die, man, you know what I mean, behind a mistake, because it's a mistake, first off. But then also, there wasn't nothing she could do about that. Like,
it's a sad situation. It's very sad. And the thing about making mistakes is that you hope a person will live long enough to say I'm sorry, or admit or understand where they went left at. But in this case, she's not gonna be able to do that because she's deceased. So I hate to see grown people put their mouth on children. No pun intended. I hate to see grown people put their mouth on children physically too, but I mean just verbally about something that a child did or a mistake that a youngster made. Because we was all youngsters. I know. Listen, I did enough dumb shit as a youngster to fill up a boat, and it could sail all the way across Lake Michigan and stay steady in the storm. That's how much it was. And I did not deserve to die for none of the stuff that I did, and thank God I didn't. But I made so many mistakes. I zigged all the time when I should have zagged. And if you shoot me down at 17 years old, you don't get 46-year-old Kevin who can go out into the community or do the work that I do with my people now, which I don't even, it's not something I want to pat on the back for, but it's all the youngsters that I've helped, all the people and families that I've assisted. If you get rid of me, then you don't get this version of me. And so that's why I say in the future, I thought Mac Mall, who was on the show, shout out to Mac Mall, he made a good point about these youngsters dying. He said, who knows, these individuals could be somebody who come up with solutions to some of the things we're dealing with right now. And we're losing them, right? And so this is the sad part about it. Shout out to Courtney Francois, the juice connoisseur. She's in the chat room. The award-winning Courtney Francois she just got that OMG On My Grind award. She said most people I know hit licks on their jobs as teens, not with guns and things though, just rob the register here and there. I mean, yeah, you steal boxes and you get fired on your day off. Like I understand, at work as a youngster especially, you be like, I'm gonna take this whole box of pens. Why do you need 50 ballpoint pens? I don't know, but there's pens in the house, so everybody in the house we won't be short of pens. or paper, or I mean, how many of us done took paper for our printer at home from the job? Hell, I know grown people who do that shit. You look, I seen a brother put a post up on Facebook and
Hey,
said,
but
"Lord,
you know what else, man? Like, how do we get mad at the guy who shot her too? Because like his intent was to help,
ooh, okay, explain that a little bit."
right? Like his intent was to help. Like he was shooting at the dude trying to rob the place, right?
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? I think I heard somebody say he may have asked the manager if he should I shoot him.
really?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the whole situation is sad, man, because he didn't try to shoot her. He was trying to shoot the dude. And you know what I mean? And then that's where everybody's saying, like, well, you know, it was reckless because he didn't know what he was doing. He was a felon. He wasn't supposed to have a gun, and you know what I'm saying? All that mess. And that's where all that starts stemming from, I'm guessing. But
You know what? I kind of feel you on that. I kind of feel you on that. If this individual's trying to come through the window and rob the joint, he's thinking, well, he ain't finna come in here and lay me down,
straight
right?
up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I
You
feel you
know,
on
and
that.
then another sad thing about that is everybody that has something to do with that is going to jail for murder.
Yeah.
Even him.
Yeah. A lot of birds with one stone. A lot of
Everybody's
birds.
going
Yeah.
to prison.
Yeah. Now, come on, you just opened my eyes, but I do say, you know, but you took this sister's life. But the thing is the reason why I'm mad at him is being an individual with a firearm and not understanding
Right.
or respecting that firearm. Once again, I am an arms connoisseur. I absolutely adore guns, and I have a lot of them. But I respect each and every one of them. It's not something to play with. And if you pull that out, you better understand the situation that you're in because you can't take that bullet back. Now, the one thing that you need to do if you have a firearm is go to the range with it if you can. Some of y'all felons ain't supposed to have them, so you can't go to the range. But if you go, what you understand the noise, you understand the recoil, you understand that you don't pull that gun out and panic because when you start spraying bullets around, you're gonna hit everything except for what you're shooting at. So you got to understand what you're doing when you pull that gun out. You got to understand what it's gonna sound like, what it's gonna feel like, right? And I work with large calibers, okay? So and I condition myself to it. So if I ever pull it out, I'm handling it. And I know what it does. I know what that thing do when I pull it out. So when that individual's coming through that window, I'm knowing critical zones. I'm knowing where I'm aiming at. I'm knowing how to hold that thing and look down that barrel and put that sight where it needs to be. Because for years, I have trained myself with them. I'm not no G.I. Joe or commando. But what I'm saying is I am a responsible firearm owner, right? And I work with my son now so that he understands these are nothing to play with. I don't take him to shoot. So you know how to no. He needs to understand what this is and what this means. And when you use this, this is what it sounds like. This is what it feels like. So if I'm mad at anything, I'm mad at that brother for saying, "Oh, I'm gonna protect us," and not having the right training with that firearm, right? So he tried to save us. He tried to save some people and protect them and went loosey goosey and ended up killing the young sister. So that's the only thing. But I do understand what you're saying, Kamar, about his intention was I'm gonna keep us safe, right?
You know what I'm saying? And then that happened. And
Right.
then you go farther, you know what I mean? You could go farther into it and say, well, if they hadn't planned it, it wouldn't have happened.
Ultimately. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
You know?
If you don't try to do this foolishness, this shit doesn't happen, right? Right. So I think the father he should have listened to Outlaw Radio and do or die. This is do or die. We talking about Rob. We talking about
the father should have been like, hold up, man, y'all crazy.
Exactly. You know, be a father, man. Don't be a friend. Like you said, I ain't. You know what? I'm very close to both of my children. I love them dearly, and they can talk to me and come to me about anything. But I ain't your partner. I'm not your friend. I'm not your guy. I'm your daddy. At the end of the day, so I'm gonna talk a little bit above and ahead of you. Like me and you ain't. I'll ask you questions about certain situations because I want to understand where you're at. But you ain't my friend. We ain't hanging out. We ain't going to the bar. I don't care if you grown. We ain't sitting around smoking together. None of that shit. You still my child. And so we need to, as parents, we do need to get on that. And sometimes being a father means telling your kids something that they don't want to hear. Like when they mess up, tell them this your fault. You should stop blaming everybody. We give our kids so many excuses, right? Like my son will come home with a fucked up grade or something. You know, this or that. No, 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 no. It ain't none of their fault. It's your fault. This is you. Take responsibility for it. It's accountability. And we got to get that to our kids. Shout out to Joey Phillips, man. That's my big homie, man. That man raised me from knee high to a flea. I I don't even remember how I met JoJo, man. A good dude in our neighborhood on Capitol. If you from that area, you know Joey Phillips. You know E2, his brother. He said you got to get trained on your aim before pulling that trigger. Know how to hit your target. That's all I'm talking about, JoJo. I mean, you got to know what you're doing, man. You got to understand caliber. You got to understand how fast I know how fast each caliber travels per second, man. All that kind of stuff, man. That's because I research what I'm doing. I ain't gonna just pull it out and go to blasting. I'm specific with mine. Like, well, this is better because it won't over penetrate and it only goes. Okay, I'm a little nerdy with it, but I think we all need to get some understanding. Yes, ma'am, Courtney. Knee high to a flea. That's what I said. JoJo knew me before I knew Kev. He used to let me follow him around when I was a little bitty dude and just hit me. That's what I'm saying. That brother is a perfect example of an OG in your neighborhood that will pull you to the side when he see you doing some dumb shit and say, "Look, Kev, what you doing, man? Don't do that, man. I'm gonna go tell Mr. Barnes. I'm gonna go tell Miss Barnes. You won't whoop your little bad ass, man." And it was always like, damn, Joey. Not that he was a snitch, but he had love for me. So he's one of those brothers in the hood who would say, "Hey man, what y'all doing, man? Y'all little young niggas go ahead, man. Y'all that ain't what y'all want. Y'all get off the street." It didn't always work. I still did some of the dumb shit, but the love was always there. So shout out to him, man. If you got somebody like that you can recognize in your neighborhood that's still here, don't be afraid to tell that brother, man, that you love them and you appreciate what they done for you in terms of their guidance, and let them know, man, that they helped and that they assisted. Yes, yes, yes. Shout out to Joey Phillips, my brother. What else we got? It's do or die. We talked about family, we talked about health. What about this money, Kamar? Do or die with the money. What about the money? The crypto and all that, man.
Let's do or die for that too.
Do or die for the bread.
we gotta become financially literate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's very important. Everybody talk about what we got to do to free ourselves and all that. Well, first of all, we're going to need some kind of money. You know what I'm saying? You need money to do what you want to do, first of all. Need money. You need money to not be able to go to work and to be able to travel like you want to do and do the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, freedom is expensive.
I like to tell people money is spiritual.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I say that because, see, we talk about manifesting our dreams and doing all this. Well, money is the median in most cases. You know what I'm saying? You need money to be able to do the stuff that you want to manifest or to be able to have the different things. It's got to get paid for some kind of way. So, yeah, that's very important.
And when we talk about financial literacy, I want people to understand what that means. We're talking about understanding credit. We're talking about understanding investments. We're talking about understanding interest. When you get a loan for something, a lot of us, our eyes get big when we go to the car lot and you say, man, I can just see myself just pushing that whip down the street. And then when you sit down and they figure it up, they say, well, your credit ain't that good, so your interest is going to be X amount %. You say, I don't give a shit. I'm getting this. You don't understand that interest has a lot to do with how much you actually paying for what you're getting. So they're loaning you money, but they going to charge you for that loan. So you're going to go and get a whip with a 15 to 20% interest rate. That is absolutely positively ridiculous. They are charging you 20 cents on every dollar you borrow. You're going to end up tripling or doubling what the car is worth. And let's not even talk about worth, because we know blue book value and depreciation for automobiles and stuff like that is crazy. Even with homes, like I'm going through the process now where I'm looking to expand where I'm at and make these walls be a little bit further apart. But the interest rate got to be correct. It's got to be a mortgage that makes sense. You can't, if you're gonna go get a home with a ridiculous interest rate, you'll never get it paid for. Talk about understanding paying off your principal. When you a mortgage is a 25 to 30 year loan, right? And if you got a high interest rate, look how much more you're paying. You get a $100,000 house and end up paying $300,000 for it instead of getting a $300,000 house, right? So we got to understand how money works in this country. They are now trying to get this crypto and Bitcoin and all this kind of stuff going. I don't have a total grasp of it. I'm trying to find the knowledge. I'm not doing the fly by night. All these bastards who inbox me, I get a lot of fake friend requests, and every time somebody trying to ask me, "Do you have a Cash App? Oh, do you know about the girl?" These people piss me off, right? Like, so I don't even. So if you send me a friend request and I don't answer it, it's because I don't. I get tired of people in my inbox asking me for my Cash App or trying to. Hey, have you heard about the government's new program? No, man, I haven't, and you ain't either. Stop it with the scams, right? But yeah, I mean, money, man, saving it. It's hard for black people to save money, and I'm gonna tell you why. You said money is spiritual. And I thought about that for a minute. And at first I was like, I don't know about that, Kamar. But then I thought about it like this. You connect how you look, what you wear, where you live, what you drive, where you eat at with who you are. It has a lot to do with your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. So when you get some bread, you go and spend so you can look good on the outside. But you don't understand how to use that money to deal with what's on the inside, right? So you all dressed up with nowhere to go, like my daddy used to say. Where you going? You got your church clothes on, but you ain't going to church. So when we get money, more often than not, I want people to know that I'm having this bread. So I'm gonna slap these rims on this car. I'm gonna slap this system on this car. I'm gonna put this big ass TV in my living room. And a lot of times, if you ain't done what you need to do inside, you're gonna be sitting around empty as hell in that nice ass car with that big ass TV, with that fat ass, right, or losing it. Period. Right, or just losing it, right?
You're gonna lose it. I'm just saying, while you sitting there basking in it, I'm worried about losing it.
Yep. So yeah, when you say money is spiritual, bro, I kind of for a minute I said, what is he talking about? But I get what you're saying with that. I get what you're saying with that. But I don't. You know what? Come on, I don't know if it should be spiritual. I mean, what we say
it is because we made it spiritual.
Okay. So wealth. So then we talk about what actually wealth is. Like, wealth ain't just monetary, right? Like, wealth is good health. We say health is wealth. Right. Wealth is feeling good, right? Like, it don't do me no good to have a fly ass Beamer in the driveway and I can't go drive it, right? Mm-hmm. Wealth is taking care of the people you're responsible for. I don't want to be dressed up and draped out with diamonds every day, and my kids got on bumwear and they're not getting what they need, right? Like, I'm getting all this money and living fly and they getting a piss poor education, right? I don't want to get money on the back of somebody else's blood money. I don't want to get money if I got to exploit the next man. So what they say, all money ain't good money. And they say the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money itself, but the love. I sound like one of them prosperity preachers now. The love of money, you understand me? Money is good. But put it in the plate. I sound like one. I'm working on this, man. I'm working on this. But yeah.
Man, they can say that in all kind of ways. They can say that in all kind of ways. You could say the root of all evil is not having money.
Well, we damn sure know the motivation for evil is being broke.
You dig what I'm saying? You could say that in all kind of ways, man. That's
right. Better to have it and not to need it than to need it and not to have it. Richard Pryor said that in Car Wash, right?
Right.
Yeah, that money, man. That money. I like what you were saying earlier. Freedom is expensive. Revolution is expensive. I don't know if people ever, you want to get out here, you want to start a group and you want to lead. I'm going to lead the people. Listen, you got to have some bread behind you.
Man, listen,
right?
People only listen to you if you have money.
Yes. Well, you can get their ear, yeah.
Now they feel like you're successful. You can show them the way.
Right. They'll listen to you if you got some bread. You're right. Yeah. That's how these pyramid scams work. Like, shit, he got a Benz. If I do what he doing, maybe I can get one. Right? Shout out to Vince Tony. Vince Tony said, preach. He said, Preacher Barnes. God did it. I don't want to make fun of God, man. I have a renewed spiritual commitment. Y'all don't even understand. I'm riding for God. People say what they want. What I just went through, and y'all got to understand, I had COVID in October and emergency spinal surgery in January. If that ain't a hell of a 5-6 month, and I'm good right now. So can't nobody tell me nothing. I'll laugh at these prosperity preachers because I'm gonna talk about. I have this in our talking points at the end of the show. I'm gonna talk about some of the craziness I've seen from some pastors, and I don't want y'all to let this dissuade you from getting some spirituality. I'm gonna call it God. I'm gonna say Jesus. I'm gonna say the Trinity. But you can call it what you want, as long as you call on something. Find something, right? You ain't just out. You shouldn't be just drifting through the universe on some renegade shit. Find something that you believe in, that you can say, hey, I need some help right here. Because a lot of times we go through stuff that's bigger than us. And you need something bigger than you to call on. So whatever it is that you want to call it, and if you want to laugh at me, laugh at me. He was a slave religion. Oh well, I guess that's just what I believe in. Then that's just how I put it. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about some preacher stuff I seen at the end of the show. The Edgecombe trial is going on right now. Y'all pay attention to that. Theodore Edgecombe is the brother here in Milwaukee who was riding his bike, and the drunk white guy who's a lawyer decided he was gonna do what drunk white men do. He's gonna pull up on him. Yeah, you nigger, get out the street. I'll kick your ass and all that. And he ran up on his brother and jumped out on him and threatened him and didn't know the brother had the hammer on him. And I don't, this is what happens. White people got this audacity to believe that they can do whatever they want to do sometimes. White men tend to think that they can just, fuck this guy. You don't know, some of us holding heat. Some of us ain't felons and we got them things on us and we can aim. We are trained with them. And this brother, Theodore Edgecombe, he laid him down. When come to find out that this white man was legally drunk. He was the aggressor. They have cameras everywhere. That's another thing I want to tell brothers. They got cameras everywhere. You out in these streets doing dirt. It's a camera in the light post and the red light. It's cameras everywhere. And they got him running up on the brother. He had a knife in his pocket. The brother said what white men say. I fear for my life. Right. And he should get off. He should get off. Right. And if you're gonna free Rittenhouse, and we seen even the white boy who got Rittenhouse the rifle is getting a light pat on the butt. This shit is a sham. Right. This brother this should be a quick ass trial. This should be open up. Oh shit. Okay, brother, you can go. Unless he was a felon with a firearm, then and even then, it might be a good thing that he had it because the white boy had a knife, right? And white boys learn how to wrestle in high school. So most white dudes are wrestlers. So a wrestler with a knife, there I go, right? There I go. There I go. Vince said I ain't gonna backslide on him. I am not going to backslide. Because one thing I know about it is I can get forgiven for whatever I do, except for suicide or blasphemy, and I won't blaspheme, and I ain't killing myself. So if you see me dead, Kev didn't kill himself. Somebody did it for him. Yeah, somebody did it for him. Kev ain't doing suicide. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna backslide. I'm rolling. I'm rocking with it. God said if I deny Him in front of everybody else, He'll deny me, and I ain't trying to have that. I'm here. I woke up from that surgery, looking around, asking for my wife. It was a crazy thing. I wish y'all could have been there. It would have been crazy, man. It would have been some crazy footage. But yeah, man. So Edgecombe's trial is going on, man. Let's be vocal about this. I know there's been some. I seen Liz and I know Tory Lowe. They've been vocal about this, but we need more support. Like, cause those white people supported Rittenhouse. You remember Rittenhouse went to jail, and the white people, the rich pillow guy who's having a lot of financial troubles in Minnesota right now. Good. I hope his ass ended up broken on crack again because he was once a drug addict. Him and little Ricky Schroeder, who still know Ricky Schroeder had money from Silver Spoons and shit. Who still know he had money, right? A lot of rich people got together and got Kyle Rittenhouse bailed out. And he had $1 million lawyers. And he's poor white trash. They ain't got no money. Him and his ugly ass mama don't got no money. Or their Louis Anderson looking ass. Yes, I'm insulting her. Yes, I am. Being very belligerent right now. I don't need alcohol, right? But yeah, but where's Edgecombe's money? How come Puffy and them ain't put no money together for him? How come our black millionaires, the Bucks and the Packers, all these dudes, why they ain't put no money together for Edgecombe? Who's his lawyer? See, that's what I'm saying. We don't do for us. We watched them do this shit with Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse at one point, they didn't even know where he was. He popped up in a bar with some white supremacists, drinking a beer, still underage. If Edgecombe was at Catfish with a beer and a shot of Crown, and they took that picture and put it in the Journal Sentinel, white people lose their damn minds. Come on, man. You talk about do or die. Another do or die thing is let's get rid of the damn double standard. Let's get rid of the fact that white people get to do whatever the hell they want to do, a lot of times on our backs. And we get criticized and called out for every goddamn thing, and a lot of time punished, especially in the court of law, because we know we're convicted at higher rates than our white counterparts for the same crimes. That shit has to change. That's something else that needs to be asked of every politician. But y'all keep saying This is what I get about white people. They keep saying, we get it. Racism and segregation and discrimination are health issues in Milwaukee County. Okay, you understand that. What you going to do about it? We're going to do racial sensitivity training. That's bullshit. You ain't changing your hiring practices. 85 to 90% of all administrators of every job are white. You can take that to the bank. I don't care what job you go in. It might be Leroy as the mid-level manager, Leroy the supervisor. Leroy got to answer to Bob and Tina and Sarah, and they white. Very, very, very seldom is it a black person sitting in a real administrative leadership position. So until you change that, shit won't change. Because you get a lot of unqualified white people who get hired for jobs they asses shouldn't have. This is why most of our mechanisms in this city don't work. Because most of the people who govern the city don't even live in it. You catch their ass on 43 getting the hell up out of Milwaukee after 5. I'm not going to be down here, goddammit. You see what happened at Shake Shack. You're not going to get my ass. They be getting up out of here. And that shit has to change. And this is why we are going to do this forum. And we're going to do this with every leader. It ain't just mayoral. If you're running for an election moving forward, Chris Johnson and Kingfish, MKE, and Outlaw Radio and the People's Network, we commit ourselves to creating an avenue where the truth and the transparency will be told and established. Our people will know, right? So when you like Bob Donovan and you've been looking through the peephole at the little boys or the college boys down at UWM getting dressed in the locker room, we're gonna make sure people know that you's a peeping Tom. Right, we're gonna make sure they know about that battling Bob. Since you want to be Mr. Conservative white politician, we know you gonna big up the South Side. You running for mayor. We know you an ex-greaser. We know about you, bruh. Black people are aware. The days of us being asleep are done, man. And Outlaw Radio, we proud to be the ones that's gonna have a wake up call, carrying it. Kamar, this is something else I gotta ask you, man, because. There's more and more evidence of UFOs being sighted in the United States right now. I don't know if you've been paying attention. And the government has admitted that there are UFOs. Now, I've long said I believe people live. There's life in outer space. I've been laughed out of barbershops. My brother one time told me I need to stop smoking so much. I believe that there's life in outer space. And there's so many sightings of UFOs. Have you been keeping up with this?
Well, not really, but I mean, I believe it's UFOs. Let's look at what a UFO is, an unidentified flying object, right?
Okay.
That could be a crater.
Okay.
I mean, it could be an asteroid. I mean, it could be anything floating through space. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, I think it's life in outer space.
Okay. I just want to make sure I ain't the only one. People think I'm weird because I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. I believe it's life in outer space. I believe when I look at our society
I believe that we're possibly from outer space because we made out of the same minerals that everything's made out of. So it's possible that we could come from there. You look at energy. When women have babies, they pull an energy from out the universe, wrapping flesh around it and giving it to the world. Here on Earth, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so who knows, man? I believe we could be from outer space.
Some people tell me, well, you listen to too much Parliament, the Mothership Connection, because that was the whole thing with George Clinton and Behind the Funk is, man, we got extraterrestrial powers. We must be from outer space, right? Like I used to think it was funny until I started looking at our ability to withstand the sun and the way our biology is made up. I'm telling y'all, one of the things that was happening when I was in the hospital was those doctors had no understanding of how my body was made up. Like they had a hard time finding veins. They had a hard time finding how to control different things, my blood pressure, stuff like that. And they was like, well, yeah, you don't understand. Right? Like, especially your veins, they're different. They branch off so much. We've never seen this. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm a black person. Right. That's why I don't trust the government with all their vaccinations and all the stuff that they give, because they've never totally understood the biology or the biological makeup of the black man in the first place.
The study wasn't done on us.
That's right. Psycho alpha beta disco bia aqua boo boo. I love Parliament, man. I love it. Vince said spiritually, I know I'm not from this country. He said he's not from this country. I think black people are so unique. I believe we're interplanetary. I really believe that. I really believe black people are people who are just people. We're different from every other human. everything about us is different from everybody else, and I think that that's some of the power that we need to really, you know, like harness and say, nah, man, that we're different. We different. We need our own shit. Like we don't like the shit y'all like. We put a twist on everything. Think about it. We put a twist on everything: food, music, culture, art, the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we speak, everything we do. Black people put a twist on it. So it means to me that we are something different from everybody else. It's Outlaw Radio, man. It's almost 9 o'clock. We're gonna get up out of here in a minute. I'm gonna let y'all go on about y'all Wednesday. We won't be back until Monday. Kamara and myself are looking to expand the platform. We're gonna have some different days that we offer. I got the Big Black Sports Show coming, so that's gonna add another show. But you know what I'm really looking forward to is working with somebody in the community who may have an idea or a vision for something that they want to do and have them join the People's Network. I want to put my money where my mouth is. It's the People's Network. And that's why they name it Kevin's Network. It's for the people. So if you're a person out there and you got an idea and say, I always want to do a show, or I want to do something different, you can hit me up, man. We can put that show right through here. I'm really good at putting this stuff together. So as a producer, I'm A1 with it. My platform is where I want it to be right now. I'm eager to share that. So if you really want to do something, because I unlike other people who do like podcasts and internet radio, I congratulate people who get their platforms. Like I see people doing shows all the time, and I'd be like, oh, that's good. I hope they can continue it. But I know for a fact that sometimes it's harder to maintain than it is to conceive of. Like you can come up with it, but can you keep it popping? It's like the relationship thing. And Keith Sweat say, make it last forever. Or like it's a female, you got to keep her happy. We know how hard that is, right? So, but there's right now a situation where we got freezing temperatures in the South. And I know a lot of people have moved from Milwaukee and moved from the North to go south. And God bless them. I'm sending prayer.
He walked. You still watching?
Well, he's out west. He's not in the South.
That's right. Yeah, he walked out.
Right. If they get rain, right. But in the South, and I'm saying this because I went through the South one time. I was on my way to North Carolina to see my niece and nephew. And people in the South, when it snows or it's ice, lose their minds on the highway. They don't know how to drive. Like they don't know how to drive in the snow and the ice.
They don't drive.
Right. Well, they was all on the side of the road. It was crazy, right? So I want to send, and I know the last time Texas had a big freeze, people were affected by it. Like they did the whole, and I hope that they're better prepared. I know that their power grid was not equipped to deal with it. But I just want to pray for, and I got a lot of family. My whole family is from the South, right? I'm a city boy. I'm a North Sider. I'm a Milwaukee, and I'm a Capital Drive-In. But my whole family is from the South. So if you got people down there, call them and make sure they're okay. And just encourage them to be safe and be careful on them roads and not lose it. Because I'm telling you, when they see ice and snow, they be like, what the hell? And so I want to pray for them. And I'm not gonna make fun of you like Kamar said, aha. You thought it was sweet. Bad day.
Hey, I'm just joking, man. I know how that shit can get serious. You know what I mean? And the code ain't nothing to play with. I know we up here. I'm just joking, y'all.
Right. No doubt. No, I know. You're just joking. But I'm saying a lot of people do when they move south and it's the wintertime and we, 20 below or whatever, and they down there in this 70. They like to put on Facebook. Yeah, it's December down here. Yeah, look at y'all.
I ain't never moving back.
Right. Right. God bless you, man. I hope you're safe, and I hope that things, get back to how they are. So, my cousins in Mississippi have put up pictures on Facebook of snow and stuff like that, and I was like, damn, Mississippi is covered in snow. So, yeah, bless the people in the South, man. Now, I did want to touch on this before I leave because once again, I want to shout out. I always give it up. I don't do award shows, right? I don't do award shows, but they just had the NAACP Image Awards. And celebrities, I don't think they should get awards for us spending money with them. But Cardi B, who is the rapper Cardi B, she said that she was going to pay for 17 funerals of the people who lost their lives. I think it was in Brooklyn. There was a big old apartment building fire and some children died. And Cardi said she'd pay for the funerals. I think that's big of her. I think more rappers need to get involved with their social side and that money that these people spend to come to your shows and stream your songs. You need to be paying it back to them. Also, I want celebrities to be careful, and I want y'all to understand that Jillian Maxwell says she's gonna reveal the 8 John Does because she was convicted of sex trafficking, helping your boy Epstein. She said she's gonna reveal those 8 John Does. I want to see who they are. We know it's power players involved with sex trafficking.
Shit,
We know it's rich people involved with it. I want to know.
you said she done got convicted already?
Yeah, she's convicted. She was found
Shit,
guilty.
she probably ain't gonna tell nothing. It's too late now. What is gonna do?
Well, she's already agreed to reveal the names because it can affect her appeal because they haven't sentenced her yet. But
Oh,
if she cooperates, it could be the difference in between her getting life,
it can help her. It can help the appeal
Yeah.
process.
And it might just be she might just want to get it off her chest because she might look around and say, "How the fuck am I the only person going down for this shit when I was just helping out?" And all y'all rich and powerful dudes enjoy this. So, hey, it's gonna be interesting to see who these John Does are. And I want y'all to brace yourself just in case it's your favorite actor, rapper, politician, whoever it is. Don't. Oh my God, no, 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 no. Let's see who it is. And she's only giving up 8. I'm hoping that one of those 8 or a couple of those 8 give up 8 more. Let's figure this out so we can put a hole in this sex trafficking. I got a daughter, right? And I pray every day. I pray every day. And God forbid that something would happen to her. And God forbid if I found out or knew who it was. Because everybody gone, right? We talking about that's where the responsible firearm owner in me comes out at. So I'm really against sex trafficking and all that. That's why I hate to hear brothers now talk about I pimping. Well, if you ain't pimping underage girls and you got women that you pimping that say okay, that's fine. But when you talk about pimping and you got little young sisters, little young girls, I got a problem with that pimp, right? I got a problem with it. Now listen, I was talking about the preachers. Don't be distracted, right? There's some pastors out here who are really committed to what they're doing. There's some spiritual leaders who are really committed to what they're doing. But be aware of these crazies. And in Florida, there's a sister who died. She was the pastor. She died in church until they put offering on her chest. They put the offering on her chest and she came back to life. If that happens in your church, leave the church, right? Then you have this black pastor who was preaching and he was praying over his brother and he spit on his hand and rubbed a loogie in his brother's face and that was supposed to heal his brother. If that's happening in your church, leave, right? And some of the stuff I see with these African pastors is ridiculous. And you can go and look. Some of these pastors with these African churches, and some of them are in Africa, some of them here, where they peeing on people, talking about this is blessed piss and making women lay down and let me stick my finger in you and put the blessing inside you. If that kind of stuff, if any kind of crazy behavior that jeopardizes your safety or your sanity is going on, and somebody's utilizing a spiritual message to do that to you, separate yourselves from them. This is why we have sex offenders in the Catholic Church. For so long they was able to get away with molesting these boys because they were doing it under the guise of I'm spiritual. This is about God, and this is if somebody's causing you pain, harm, or inconvenience, leave, because that's not what spirituality is about.
If they try to sell you tickets to heaven,
Exactly. Right. Come on. This water, buy this water, right? Like this bottle of water I died and brought this water back with me. It is $50 per bottle. All these are scams, man. And it's in man's nature to run scams. One of the things I always talk about is I'm a PK. My dad was a preacher, right? And I would often question my father about some of the craziness that I seen with some behavior by some clergymen. And he would always be quick to tell me, I don't go to church to follow a man. I go for the word. I go to strengthen my relationship with God. I'm not concerned about what a man does because to be a man is to be flawed in the first place. So understand that. So just because one false prophet, one false preacher comes along, that doesn't mean they are all bad. Understand that.
That's why I always say, fuck the messenger, get the message.
Exactly, right? And if you can't get the message, if you're that distracted by their tomfoolery and fugaziness, leave that church. Go somewhere where you can get a clear signal, right? It's like what you do if you ain't getting a signal for your cell phone. You move somewhere where you can get a clear signal. You need to do that with your spirituality as well. There's a group in Milwaukee called Africa Soca, and they're working to mend the relationship between Native Africans and African Americans, or black people, as I call us. They have a black-owned marketplace. This is in my group, the People's News Network. If you ain't in the group, go join. This is it. They're gonna have a event Saturday, and it's supposed to be a black-owned marketplace. We got to support black economics and black entrepreneurship. And I know I talk about this all the time. Our relationship with Native African Africans is flawed and fractured. So Afro Soca, you know, they're gonna have a whole event.
Hey, so is our relationship with each other. I ain't mean to keep cutting you off.
No, you good. You good. Ain't no you right.
Yeah, but so is our relationship with each other. So you know what I mean? No need to frown on that one either.
No doubt. No doubt, man. Look, if you don't love yourself, who else you gonna love?
Right.
Right? That's entirely what we talk about all the time. If you don't love yourself, who else you gonna love? You ain't loving nobody else. You don't need to be in no relationship, and you don't need to be giving no goddamn advice either, right? So I think it's very important that we understand, man, that it's do or die. We're in a situation where it's dire straits, man. We need to figure out where we're going. We need to figure out what we're going to do about our community, and we need to take action. It's not good enough to sit and just remain idle. We have to really say, okay, what are we gonna do about this? You wanna run for office? You want me to vote for you? And we got to figure out what we're gonna do. That was an accident. I didn't mean to do that.
I was going to say, damn, man, you finna Rick Ross's?
Right. I'm out of here. Right? No, I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. But yeah, man, I just want to say to people, man, it's not the time to be looking down on each other. If you see somebody that need help, help them. Because if you ain't helping them, you just as bad as any other victimizer out here, right? It's not time to be talking about each other and dissing each other and shitting on each other. We need to be helping each other. We need to be loving each other, and we don't need to be passing judgment on each other, because everybody got something. Everybody has something. They have some issue. I don't care who you are. I don't care how fine you think you are. It's something wrong. You super pretty with your filter on Facebook. Meet you in real life. You ain't got no teeth. You bald headed. One of your legs longer than the other. I ain't gonna laugh at you. It's all good. We all got something that we need. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. You need to understand that. Share the show, man. Hit like, hit share, hit follow. Don't be no hater. Be a congratulator. Be a motivator. You got to understand, man, that we all we got. And that if we don't support each other, ain't nobody going to support us. And we're going to be forever be victims to what they want as opposed to what we want, man. You have to understand that. And if you ain't with us, you're against us. So you need to understand, if your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution, your ass is a coon and you need some help. I still ain't here to judge you. I'm here to help decoonify you. Get with us. Bang our line. Get with Kamar. Get some Nature Nature herbs and supplements. Get with Courtney Francois. Get some juices. Other than that, get with God and get some straightening. I see y'all when I see y'all.
Peace.